Alright, so I got the so-called filter out of there, and I figure we're just going to go, we'll try popping the housing on and off when it's running. We'll see what kind of difference we get now. So, make sure to turn the switch on this time. Let's see if we can pop it apart and put the restrictor back in it. I call it a restrictor, air cleaner. And it probably doesn't help that I have that hole around there, so let me take a second and throw a couple of pieces of tape on that. Let's try it again. So I think cleaning it is what did it. It was just too dirty. So I have to repair my boo-boo. Maybe we'll take a soldering iron and just kind of go and try to melt the plastic back together. Sometimes you just screw up. Shall we? A little light on the subject. Right tool for the right job. I gotta do the old mush into the center deal. Some hack decided to cut a hole in it. Probably a $10 air cleaner too. That's better. So we're just gonna do that all the way around. Take a couple of hits off of that, get a little buzz going off of that plastic smoke, and put that back together. You know, soldering iron. Then I went over with some RTV, kind of plugged her up, and nobody will know other than the 10,000 guys that are gonna watch this video. But put that by the heat, let that cure up a little bit. That'll be fine. Again, we still may change that out for something. I left that little extender out of there. Where did it go? It's like a white hose that was in there. This guy was on threaded into there. I'm going to leave that right out of there. I'm wondering if that's kind of a restriction also. So, bye-bye. So I got the throttle kind of flipped up. That's way too much light for you guys, ain't it? I got the throttle flipped up, and you can see that pin right there. So that's how the throttle's supposed to work. And I ran the cable, the new cable, up and through. So that's got to kind of go into that location and be your pull. So hopefully that comes apart out of there. Hope this is in one piece. But we're going to undo that screw and see what kind of comes apart here and what we can clean up. So that screw was holding in what was left of that bit of cable. So I was able to get that out. But the new cable has, wherever it ended up, a barrel on the end of it. So I'm going to have to actually grind that sucker off and just put the cable in, and then I guess that's your adjustment. You can kind of tweak it how far in it goes with the set screw and lock it down. So away it goes. So you can burn that end out of there. My only fear is that cable is going to be too fat to fit inside that throttle. They will ruin the cable for nothing. It's changing shape. You guys want to grab that with your finger, just yank it off of there? I think we should try. What do we want to try? Let's go hit it with a pair of pliers real quick. Yeah, maybe. Watch out for that. It's gonna be hot. Nope, I gotta go more. I don't know if you can see up inside there, but I ended up cutting. Actually, I took and I soldered the end of the cable to keep the strands together, and I ended up actually just cutting that end right off. And then I fed it through. You can see a little bit of a tit sticking out there. So I just got to put the screw back in there. That should do it as far as locking the throttle down. And because now it's got the solder on it, you can kind of take it apart, put it back together without being afraid of it, the end splaying out. So I jumped over to the speedometer. I was going to go put the cable on it. I pulled the speedometer off, and the cable's broken up top too. There's the end of the cable. And of course I wanted to go spin it, and the cable's locked right up. The speedometer's locked right up. So I figure we'll try and spray some stuff in there. I would figure it's going to be that brass to this side that is seized. And the speedometer did stop at 6,666. So, if you're superstitious. Let's see if that thing will free up, hopefully. It's really tight. Uh-oh. That ain't good. I broke the end off in it. I suck. So I ended up tearing it all apart. Actually had to slice the bail and peel it back, and so you can kind of get into it. And I was able to shoot fluid in the backside of it. And as far as the broken piece that was in there, I used a drill to drill out what I could, and a little piece of it ended up pushing forward, but there's enough there to put the cable on. So I figure I got it to move, and now I got to hook to a drill. So I figure I'll kind of work that in. I could put miles on and put miles off. See, what are we on right now? We're on I'm going the wrong way, that's why. Let's go the other way. Breaking up, Captain. 15's a rough deal, just because that pin's not in there square. So that's the idea. I'm going to keep working some fluid in there, see if we get it all put back together, and hopefully it works. If not. That feels pretty good. Yeah, so I think I'm kind of winding down the speedos back together, and I'm just kind of picking away at different things that need to be addressed. I cleaned up the handlebars, fixing some switches and stuff. This is the headlight bucket. that had big rust spots on it. So I hit it with the sandblaster. And I figure I'll coat it tonight and let it sit overnight, and then tomorrow I could reassemble that. Just trying to clean up some of the rustiness on it. You know I'm going to keep going until I get it run, don't you? That's it. So that's what's going on with that guy. I'll leave the heat on overnight. As I said, the speedo's put back together. There was a broken part down inside here too, so I had to go and pick the little stem of the broken cable out of there. And everything's put back together on that guy. The only problem is, see if I can get up there now that I use my stool as a paint jobber, is that when you spin it, it seems to hang up at like 5 miles an hour. You back up, it'll roll back down. But the plastic needle is touching the part of the glass right here. When it gets up here, it's fine, but just when it goes to relax, it hangs out at 5 miles an hour instead of 0. So we'll call that 80% fixed. I didn't want to feel like peeling it apart again, because every time you bend the lip of this bezel on and off, it gets weaker and weaker. You know, it's not meant to come apart. Yeah. So that's what that guy is. Carbs on. I made a mess of the air cleaner. Fix that. Gas tank's I'm gonna allow it to still let that soak some more. And I think tomorrow I'm just gonna go continue just cleaning stuff up. And again, let the gas tank sit as long as possible. And then finally, once I do drain that, and I gotta dry it out, gotta neutralize it, get it dry, and then I have to coat it with the gas tank sealer, so that will make me so I have to take the bike and rotate the bike all different directions to get the goop to flow, and then that has to cure for a while, which is fine because I don't have to put fuel in this, you know, really until spring. So maybe we'll put a can or something on the side of it just maybe to run it up and down the road if the weather's good enough. But that's where I'm gonna end this one up. The switches were broken off. This one's fixed. I ended up notching a little recess in the plastic. This screws to this. This was broken. And I just wrapped a tie wrap around it. We'll see how that does. A good tie wrap, but still a tie wrap. The original mount was here, but it broke away. And same thing on the other side. See the piece of wire hanging off of it. Somebody mounted, so I'll probably do the same thing. I'll drill through it there and the other side. Get it back together. Clean some of the crap off the handlebars. I don't know if I said that already. Alright, now I'm just starting to babble. So anyway, again guys, thanks for watching, comment, subscribing, and we'll continue on this one. And I don't know, probably about hopefully about 4 or 5 days this will be done out of here.